everybody. Welcome to another installment of Whisper to a Scream. I'm Cheryl,
And I'm Bernard.
and we are so happy to have you back. And I hope you're telling your friends to watch and to
Please tell
get,
your friends to what.
And I just want to just make this one comment.
Okay.
Please leave your comments
Thank you,
on the
Cheryl.
right in below. Leave some comments, press a like, subscribe.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to particular people that know me. Don't call me and tell me how I
Good
did
point.
or whatever if you did not put your comment there.
Thank
If
you.
you didn't put your comment there, don't call me.
Right.
If you put your comment there, hey, what's up, girl?
Right. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Put those comments, especially people that I know too. Put a comment down there.
And let me tell you why. We're doing this so that we can probably make, some dollars. And we don't make those dollars if you don't like and you don't comment.
Well.
Okay?
Well, I'm doing it because I want to, for our community to be able to express themselves, and we're hoping that we're making you feel comfortable enough. Because what we say to each other is that we want to act like we're sitting around a table. You know how the folks are. You sit around the table. I might have a chicken bone in my hand. Or sit on the front porch. Just let's talk about stuff like we know.
And having a bottle of pop.
A bottle of pop or whatever it is that whatever that you partake in. Let's talk about some stuff. And the good thing about this is that when we talk about this, it's spread out to literally to millions of people who will hopefully come and visit this site and know how you're thinking. That's what this really is all about. And yeah, there are some remuneration that comes along with having a channel, but it's about the work too. And it's about doing a good job.
We're serious about screaming. We want you to scream about the things that are happening.
And we know you want to scream about the same things that we're screaming about. We know that already, so scream.
And some of those things that we're screaming about, maybe we can fund those things.
Right, exactly.
If we had the MONEY to do it.
Exactly. Or at least,
all right. But let's get into our stories because we only got a little bit of time.
We can all communicate like this. Okay, well, these are some we always like to do our follow-up stories. That we promise you that we're not going to just do stories and then toss them. We're going to do follow-through. Here's one of them. We're going to begin with that cop in South Carolina. His name is Michael Slager. If you remember, he shot Walter Scott in the back 8 times. He originally told a lie and said that they were struggling with his weapon and that he was trying to get away, and that's when he decided to shoot. And he would have gotten away with it, except somebody had a camera phone and they videotaped the incident. Otherwise, he would have lied. This poor man would be dead and called a criminal because this guy was willing to lie. And I don't know why he shot the guy 8 times. Was that necessary? Anyway, he went to trial. It was a hung jury, and they were set to go to trial again. But he realized all the complications of that, and so now it's going to a federal level. So he just acquiesced, and he said, "Look, I'm guilty." He knows he was guilty. The film says he was guilty. There's no way he can get around it. So we're just in the sentencing phase now, so we're just waiting to see what his sentence is going to be. He could get up to a life imprisonment, but we just have to see what's going to happen with that.
We hope that they do, because you remember after we just had celebrated the 25-year anniversary of the Rodney King riots when they came up with a verdict.
25 years? That was 25 years ago? Oh my gosh.
I think it's been 20 or 25 years.
Wow.
And our community still has not recovered. So if we get a sentence that is not agreeable to us, don't burn up your own community in protest.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Because who do you hurt? But ourselves.
Right.
So now you got to walk or drive or ride the bus miles away. And next time, if something like that goes down, think about protecting our communities.
Protecting our communities,
and,
right.
I'll leave that right there before I say the wrong thing. And I'm going to the next story. Our next story is, you might remember Cheryl and I were talking about this Korean beauty supply place in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the owner accused a customer of stealing false eyelashes. So what did he do? He attacked her, kicked her, knocked her down to the ground, and put her in a stranglehold. And his wife helped him. Fortunately, once again, somebody had video and he videotaped this. And when he
Right.
found out that he had been videotaped and also that the local NAACP decided to boycott him, suddenly he wanted to apologize. And now he comes forth and he says, I don't know what happened to me. I lost my mind. I was wrong. I don't know what happened, but I want to apologize. The update on that is that, number one, he has not been arrested for assault and battery. He assaulted that woman. So he hasn't been arrested, and she hasn't been arrested for stealing either. So the whole thing is just out of whack. The NAACP is still boycotting that store. Our position here is that at the very least, he should hire people from that community. And Cheryl was saying something earlier about, when you go into these stores, when we go into these stores, look around. If you don't see any people from our community working in a store that's based in our community, you need to say something to that owner. How come you don't have anybody from our community working in the store? You need to say, you know what? And sure, I know I'm taking your words, and you were really saying this. You say, look, if you can't hire anybody from my community, I don't need to spend my money here. It makes me feel like you don't respect me because you won't hire anybody from our community. How do you come to a community like that and then don't hire people from that community, Cheryl? You can't explain that one to me, Cheryl?
No, but just quickly because we got to move on.
Right.
What I have to say about this story is that what Bernard forgot to say was that what we want to scream about and give a shout out to the brother who pulled his products from that store.
That's right.
And he carries the
Not from that store, Cheryl.
Keraveda, Keraveda. He's a brother. He has
Sure, wait a minute. Not from that store. He did it in a store in Houston, Texas.
Okay, he pulled his products
but
from.
the fact that he did that from another
Right,
convenience store.
the fact that he did that shows prop. We need to give him props. And he has a website, and all you got to do is type in KERAFEDA and look at his products and see if you can't support this brother, because they have over 9,000 Korean-owned beauty shops in the Black communities.
And it's a $1 billion business. And
business.
And the Koreans control the manufacturing, the distribution, and the sales. So they got that market locked up.
Locked down. We help them because we keep giving them our money.
Right.
They disrespect us. They look at us as we are thieves and lazy and this and that and the other. Mm-hmm. So if they don't have anybody working in their store that doesn't come from our community, go somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop making them millionaires and billionaires when we need to keep our money within our own self.
Yeah,
we need to stop that. People, I'm screaming.
I agree. And Cheryl, you need to look at me, Cheryl. You need to look at me.
Okay.
I mean, look at your camera. All right.
I'm looking at. Okay.
There you go. That's what.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but and you're absolutely right about that. You know that we agree on that, just like we do on most things. We have another update, and our story about how Donald Trump brought the presidents from historically Black colleges to the White House. Remember, Cheryl, so much? Shortly after he was inaugurated, he brought them there, and he says to them, I want to make sure you get the attention that you need. You're an historical part of this country. So I know right now your funding comes from under the Department of Education. I'm going to move it out from them and bring it over under the auspices of the White House. And that way we can make sure you get what's needed. And Cheryl and I immediately said, something's up.
That ain't going to happen.
That ain't going to happen. But it was a good move for getting, what they call them, photo op. Yeah, photo opportunities and video. And wow, maybe he is going to try to do right. Let's Cheryl. Nope. Our first hint that he wasn't.
Well, if you believe that, I'll say the Brooklyn Bridge.
Exactly. Our first hint that we should have picked up on is when they did their first budget. You know, in the budget, they list everything, who's getting funding where. And the funding for the black colleges wasn't listed anywhere in the whole budget. Look at me, Cheryl. And wasn't anywhere in the whole. There you go. Wasn't anywhere in the whole budget. You know, that is flag number one. Then we found out yesterday that he has said he can't give that funding. Why? Because it would be unconstitutional to give to a specialty group based on race, on sex, or on age. So he can't give that funding to the historically black colleges. And our position is these are historically black colleges, not exclusively black colleges. So we're not trying to hear that okey doke, you know what I mean? And so people come from all over the world, white people, Asian people, all kinds of people come from all over the world to these black colleges and universities to get an education. And so it's just historically black, so he can't use that. And if that was the case, it's been over a month. Why didn't his advisors tell him right away that it was unconstitutional? I don't think it is. But at any rate, if his reason is because it would be catering to a special group, that's a lie. And to me,
the thing about it is like what you said. He should have known, and even I'm sure that if we were to interview some of these presidents, they would probably say that they knew the boy wasn't going to give them that money.
Right.
You know, and my question is this: if you took their funding that wasn't even there already, but if they were supposed to get some of the funding from the Department of Education, and you said that you're going to take them out of there and put them from the funding from the White House, did that happen? Did they take the funding from the Department of Education?
Yeah, did they ever even do that? You're right.
Will these historical black colleges still get the same funding that all other colleges get by being under the Department of Education? Now, if he couldn't fund them from the White House, could he take it from the Department of Education? So all of it was a farce. And so our historically black colleges, are they still going to be funded? That's the question. Are they still going to get the same funding that they've always gotten, or do they still have to fend for themselves even more so than they had before?
Right. And Cheryl, you know what? He's being sneaky. And speaking of being sneaky...
He's being sneaky?
Yeah. And speaking
he's always sneaky.
Right. And speaking of being sneaky, what is up with the director of the FBI and his untimely firing? Is he doing something else sneaky? What's up with that, Cheryl?
Hey,
tell me.
You know, some of the headlines are saying that this is comparable to what Nixon did in the Watergate scandal.
Yeah, I heard that. Yep.
So, but the other side, you know, the other guy's side is saying that he was great because the FBI, what's his name, James Comey, was not competent for this particular.
Yeah, Eric Holder. Eric Holder was a former AG.
Eric Holder.
Yeah, Eric Holder was a former Attorney General, and even he said, who happened to have been a black person, we all know, who said he didn't think that James Comey was competent enough for that position, and a couple of other key Democrats said the same thing. So people like Hannity and the guy out of Georgia here, they seized this opportunity to say, well, yeah, even the Democrats said that he wasn't doing the job right, and so they're commending Trump on moving so swiftly to get rid of him.
But my question is, did he really move swiftly? He didn't move swiftly because when Donald Trump got in.
Right.
There was the head of the FBI, and he quit, right? Remember? The old guy with the silver hair? He was the head of the FBI. Then this guy, Comey, took over, I think, in January. Right. And then, or no, he couldn't have, because Comey was the one who released the information about the emails.
Yeah, exactly, with Clinton. And see, that was
with Clinton.
That was another thing. He appeared to waver on that issue, which kind of made him look kind of weak. But I hear the thing for him is that he has through the different administrations he's been in. I think he was around for the Bush administration too, if I remember right. That in every administration he was like he appeared not to care. Appeared to be nonpartisan and was always seeming to go for the truth. So what happened with that email issue? That is still crazy to me. I don't know what they're planning on doing with that. But yeah, we need to keep our eyes open and see what the new guy, as Cheryl calls him, Trump, the new guy, to see what he's going to do next.
They also said news that the other guy said that he's going to put somebody else in there who's going to bring dignity back to the FBI and it's going to be much better. And then people who are criticizing him are going to thank him or whatever. But my question is this. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Who you going to put in there that's not going to answer to you in the way that you want them to?
So that person has got to answer to the president, no matter who it is. And when he does, he better be singing that song that the president likes. Otherwise, he's not going to be in the top 10.
And that's how we feel, because that's the way Donald Trump has presented himself.
Look, he's already proven that he's like that. Let's move on, because we are going to follow that story. We don't have any choice, because it's going to be in the news for the weeks to come. This policeman, Roy Oliver, policeman in Dallas County, a Dallas County town called Balch Springs. That's in Dallas, Texas. As far as I'm concerned, he savagely murdered this 15-year-old boy that was leaving a party. He was in a car with his brother and some of his other friends driving away from the party. This policeman decides he wants to take a high-powered rifle and shoot blindly into a car, not knowing who's in it. All he knows is that these people are black, because two of the people who were in the car said today, two of the survivors made a statement today that he used the N-word in this whole process. So he purposely opened fire, hoping to hit somebody in the car. He didn't care who it was.
Right.
And sure, every time I think about that, it's like, here we go again with the same. Right. But you know what, Cheryl? But Cheryl and I are determined. We're not going to make this normal. We are not going to make these actions normal. We are always going to bring them up, and we're going to scream about them. Number one, because these stories keep happening again and again. If we don't scream about it, then we won't know, Cheryl, moving off the screen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's our joke, folks, because Cheryl gets animated and she just goes off the screen. But that's
I forget that the camera don't follow me.
Right, that the camera don't follow her. She needs her own personal cameraman. So this boy dies at the hospital. When he gets to the hospital, he's like dead on arrival. The whole thing that brought the cops there in the first place is that somebody called and said there was some underage teenagers there drinking and making a lot of noise, and so that's where they came. And so Jordan Edwards and his brothers and their friends, when they saw things were getting on the crazy, they went and got to their car and said, "Let's get out of here. We don't need to be on this scene." And as they're pulling off, this guy decides that he wants to pick up that AR-15 and shoot into the car and kill him. Here's some things about this cop, Roy Oliver. He did 2 tours in Iraq, which is crazy enough. You know what I mean? But you want to say thank him, because he was fighting for America and our allies. But then when he came back, he decided to join the police force. Something happened.
Or was he fighting for America?
Well, when he came back, he joined the police force, and something happened, and he quit that job. Then he decided to come to this other job here in Dallas County, and they hired him. But he was a problem policeman from the beginning, and they knew this. He got into so many spats with other policemen that they sent him into anger. He was ordered to go to anger management classes. Also, he was having problems with the prosecutors, and we know the prosecutors 9 times out of 10 are going to be on the side of the policemen. So you all working together. Whatever he did, it was so wrong that one of the prosecutors put in an email, he said, "This is a scary guy." That's in an email. There's another red flag. And on another occasion, he was in a court, and he was being so vulgar that the prosecutor had to ask his assistant, who was a female, to leave the room because this guy was being so vulgar. So we've got all these flags going up. And his picture is up now, too. So take a look at this picture and look at him, and you can see, I mean, I'm sorry.
He's scary looking guy.
Yeah, he's a scary guy. So when people on your side find you scary, well, all I'm saying is, Cheryl, all these red flags went up, and nobody thought about firing him until this incident. Now that he's murdered this 15-year-old kid.
Well, I would like to bring honor to Jordan Edwards, who was a 15-year-old honor student.
Yes, he was an honor student. That's right.
And my scream is this: as a mom. My scream is that we have got to, pray for our kids.
Yeah.
And pray for this family. I mean, just think about what his brother is going through. He drove that car.
Yeah. I think about his whole
family.
Think
about that. And even though our kids are doing the right thing at the right time.
Right. And that's what makes it.
At the right place.
And that's what makes it so.
And sometimes you have to be cautious about where we let our kids go. And I know we want to let our kids have fun.
Right.
But you remember there was a time when we used to have the teen posts?
Yes.
We need to have some more teen posts so that our kids can let their hair out and let them discover who they are as people.
Well, it won't matter because if there's any kind of a disturbance and the police are called, even though you got a good kid, he's still subject to. I mean, look at Trayvon walking home from the store.
In our own community, we need police officers from our community to service our community.
Sure. You know what? In fact, I'm gonna put a what they call a pin in that, because that's something we're gonna bring up in a future show for sure. We want to close this part out by saying that he was arrested and charged with murder.
Okay.
And he had a $300,000 bond. But within hours, somebody came up with the money. So now he's out. He's out on bond. Wonder who that person or these people were who felt inappropriate to do that.
Ku Klux Klan. He could be Aryan Nation. But looking at his bald head, look like he might be Aryan Nation.
Yeah. I'm with all that, but we don't know. But
not you. Not you.
Yeah, but oh yeah, right. But I'd be with the anyway. We're not gonna go there. But that's. We're gonna stay with that story because we want to know. I want to know what's the next step, for this murderer is what he is.
Exactly.
Tell you something else that's being murdered. The old Affordable Care Act is being murdered by the new Unaffordable Care Act. Now, here's the thing: the Affordable Care Act and this what's it called? The American Care Act, the new one. They're both lousy. They both need tweaking. So why don't we take what we already have that works and tweak it? Right. Why does everything have to be either you're with us or you're not? Why does it have to be that? Why do they want to wipe away anything that has Obama's signature on it? I mean, literally every program, anything he's endorsed, overtime compensation, which we're going to talk about at another time. Even everything that he said his signature on, they are gung ho about wiping it off the books. But now we're talking about America, period, and this is all of us.
Their justification is that they said that what they're doing is good for America. But it looks like to me what they're doing is good for the rich boys of America.
I want to know why they take this money out of Medicare. And where is it going? And who is it going to support? Because if it was for us, it should stay right there. And then nobody said anything about how they plan to replace that money. They just said, hey, we're going to take it. Don't worry about it. You just go in.
They're not even concerned about replacing it. No, they're not even concerned about that.
But the main points that Cheryl and I talked about in previous shows about this Unaffordable Care Act are pretty much still in place. So if you have a pre-existing condition, I hope you have some property you can sell because you may have to use it to get medical care. And if you're out of work for a couple of months, when you come back, they can charge you up to 30% more of what you were originally paying. Even if you go back to your original insurance company, older people, I don't want to say like me, but like me, will be paying more. They're talking about giving us vouchers. So it's all seems to be geared towards if you make a certain amount of money. But if you're the common everyday folks that has to go to work every day, like most of us do, you're going to be paying more. And anybody who thinks that they're not they're just blindsided by trying to make America great again. Okay, well, good luck with that one. Okay.
Well, you know what? When they say make America great again, I think they're talking about only certain Americans.
Yes.
They're thinking about an American that's in their mind and not the true America. America is a melting pot. It's full of all types of people from all different types of worlds. And I believe that we are in a war, but a spiritual war and a physical war. But we need to understand that in the physical world, we have to take care of the human beings.
Yes,
we have to take care of each other.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the instances where that Affordable Care Act is not going to work is if you have a pre-existing disease like lupus.
Right.
Cheryl and I want to talk about lupus today because it's becoming such a part of the American community, part of our community here. And it just, I know it's been around for a while, but it just seems like it's coming out of nowhere. There's some celebrities who have lupus, like I'm surprised Toni Braxton has lupus.
Yeah. She's talked about that for a while.
Right, and Nick Cannon has lupus. You know what I mean? Look at me, Cheryl. And
I was looking at you.
No, you weren't. You look at yourself on the camera. But anyway, I was looking at you too, but that's beside the point. Uh-huh. But seriously, and so the definition of lupus, we already know it's an insidious disease. It is defined as a chronic inflammatory disease that occurs when your body's immune system attacks its own cell. I mean, it attacks its own tissues and its organs, including your joints, your skin, your kidneys, your blood cells, your brain, your hearts, and lungs. It's like you're attacking. Usually your immune system works to protect you against these attacks. But now This is insidious, meaning that it's coming from the inside and you're attacking yourself. And people ask, like what are the signs of lupus? One is a facial rash that resembles the wings of a butterfly that unfolds across both cheeks. Yeah, how'd you do that? So it's like it opens up across. That's almost like, that's just too wild for me to even imagine that. You know what I'm saying? Sure.
Well, sometimes it comes out and it looks kind of like acne.
Yeah.
Only it's in that. If you don't notice, it's in a pattern.
Right. Yeah. And certain things bring it on. Certain drugs. Probably more than likely street drugs, and maybe even some drugs you get over the counter.
Right.
Look at me, Cheryl. And it can come from sunlight, infections. You'll see hair loss, and don't say anything, Cheryl. Leave it alone, okay? And there's nose and mouth sores, and whole families have to deal with this. In fact. We had one of the biggest rallies, marches, walks that they have in America takes place here in Atlanta. So I went to the march here in Atlanta. Took some film, and I actually talked with one family, especially the mother. The last name is Sabor, and she just had a few short things to say about her struggle. She's also a team lead. They have different teams around the city and around the country, and each team works to raise money, much like Girl Scouts do when they raise Girl Scout cookies from each chapter. And then they all come together on this particular day, and this time it was in a park, a big park in Atlanta, and everybody kind of sits down and celebrates, and they do this march to further the cause for research. So I got a chance to talk to her, and in fact, let's show that right now. It's only about a minute long.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Renee, and I'm here at the Lupus Walk here at Piedmont Park in Atlanta. I'm here with the walk so so we can raise money for the cure for lupus. I have lupus, and also my sister have lupus as well. And I'm glad to see the support we have here in our Atlanta chapter.
I'm Slager. I'm battling with lupus. I had diagnosed with lupus for 2 years now in July.
Hi, my name is Angie, and I'm here at the Atlanta Walk to End Lupus now. I'm here supporting two of my baby sisters that has lupus. There's a great turnout. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, in fact, the woman's name is Hanuna Sabor, and those were her daughters, and they struggle still with lupus. We all,
one thing I forgot to say about that, I wanted to just mention that I have a cousin who has lupus.
Okay.
And it is a very debilitating disease, and I also have a friend who's Hispanic, and she has it too, and it mostly targets women of color. So if you know somebody, or if you don't know somebody, lift up this disease, lift up these people, find out about it, because somebody could have it and not tell you about it,
right?
Because they don't want to burden you. So lupus is something that we need to be aware about. It's something that we need to scream about. That more research needs to be done. And just think that your own body is fighting against you. Yeah, it's really a terrible disease.
That is so crazy. You know what's even crazier, Cheryl?
What's that?
For our Why Is That section that we do?
Yeah.
A 61-year-old woman, her name is Desiree Ferrous, was arrested back in January. And you know why? I know you know why.
Jeff Sessions got laughed at.
Yeah, she laughed at Sessions during his confirmation hearing. Senator Richard Shelby, a Republican from Alabama, was swearing in Sessions for the AG post, which is, I don't know why I can't remember the name. I always
Attorney
say AG.
General.
The what?
Attorney General.
The Attorney General. And he said, and Shelby says, well, everybody knows that there's a history of treating all Americans equally under the law. And it's clear and it's well documented. But we all know, even when he was trying to become a federal judge, he was not appointed a federal judge because they knew that he was not fair to all Americans, and that he was very partial. Even Coretta Scott King sent a letter to his peers saying, do not give this man federal judgeship. He's already proven himself to be, I don't want to call her name, but let's just say he's partial. There you go. There you go. He's partial, and he ain't right. So she laughed. Capitol Police came in.
Just like I just did.
Right. And me too. I kind of chuckled. Capitol Police came in and arrested her. And as they're taking her out, she's protesting while they're taking her out. All right. It goes to court because it took place on federal grounds. It became a federal case. So she went. She had a jury, and the jury found her guilty. And when the jury members were queried, they said they did not find her guilty because she laughed. They found her guilty because she was being escorted out. She got kind of loud and protested, and they also said because she had a protest sign on her. And those were the two counts that they got her on. So now, Ms. Ferrous stands to face a year in jail and or a $500 fine. So we're going to see what happens with that. But basically, this all happened because she laughed. So does this mean, Cheryl, with freedom of speech, you can't even laugh anymore, but yet a congressman can say in front of God, Congress, and for all of us who are watching on TV, they called President Obama a liar. And this is when he just first got into office, so he didn't know what he was going to do. But he gets away with that. We know some of the things that Trump has said too that
Oh my
promotes people
gosh.
being violent, and she
Well,
laughs.
the funny thing that just came to my mind about that is that one thing Trump said when he was running, he said that he was smart enough to take advantage of the United States tax laws, which is why he doesn't pay any taxes.
And everybody says, okay, that's fair. He did
Right.
it.
And
But let me tell
so
you,
what I'm saying is that, okay, so be smart enough to know the laws to where you can do what you want to do without breaking the law.
right, wherever that fine line is. Here's
That's
another fine
that's
line.
that's what he's spewing out. You know, now people are beginning to feel like, well, as long as I didn't break the law, I could be nasty to you. I could call you. I could do this. I could do that.
Okay, I don't know if we can use that word, but go ahead. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the
I can call
N-word.
you different names,
Right.
and I could even spew out my hate on you as long as I don't break the law.
But here's what we want the people to spew out on. Please, please leave your comments down at the bottom. We need to get those comments. We know we're saying a lot of things, and we know that you may not have any other place to get things off your chest. This is the place to do it. Keep us in mind. Put your comments down. We'll read the comments, and we'll make sure that it comes up in our next broadcast. Leave your comments. Click on the like button. Please subscribe. All those
things. And give
things.
us some ideas of what you want to talk about. If we
Exactly.
talk about it as a community.
And our next program as we wind down, because as usual, we don't know when to stop. Cheryl, this has been our best one yet. I mean it. This is our best one.
Yeah.
All right, Cheryl, see you next time. Okay?
Okay,
We'll
see
talk
ya.
soon. All right, bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.